Now we're going to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number. But before we do that, I want us to first convert an improper fraction to a whole number. So let's take a look at 15 fifths. This is an improper fraction because our numerator, 15, is greater than our denominator. We know that 1 whole is when our numerator and our denominator are the same. So if I have a denominator of 5, that means that 1 whole would be 5 fifths, or 5 out of 5. If I showed that as a diagram and had this split up into 5 parts, I would have 5 of those 5 parts filled in. That would be 1 whole. We see here that 15 is a lot more than 5. So we're going to ask ourselves, how many 5s, how many of our denominator fit inside of our numerator here? How many 5s go into 15? Well, 5 goes into 15 3 times. So 15 fifths changed into a whole number would be 3 whole. And you can see that here by, if I were to draw that out, and I had these split into 5 parts each, and I know to split them into 5 parts each because my denominator is 5, so that shows me the total number of parts. You can see that if I have all 3 of these filled in, each one has 5 of 5 filled in order to make it a complete whole. So what I have here is 5 fifths plus 5 fifths plus 5 fifths. If I add those all back together, I would get 15 fifths. So you can kind of get a clear picture as to how this works. Now, taking that into consideration, I now want you to try converting 17 fifths, which is an improper fraction, into a mixed number. So I want you to pause the video and in your notebooks, give it a try. Pause and solve. When you are done solving, as always, press play and we'll go over the process. Okay, let's review this problem. We're going to start this similarly. We know that it's an improper fraction. Our numerator is greater than our denominator. Once again, our denominator is 5. So once again, 5 fifths means that that would be 1 whole. So we need to figure out in this number, 17 fifths, how many 5 fifths can we make? Well, we can ask ourselves by how many 5s go into 17. Well, 5 goes into 17 3 times. But 5 times 3 equals 15. And as you can see here, we have 17 in our numerator. So now I need to ask myself, I've taken 15 of those parts away. I started with 17 parts, as you can see circled in red. And in order to make 3 whole, I had to take these 15 parts away, and that's how I was able to write in my 3 whole. 15 parts, or 15 over 5, is the same as 3 whole. But I don't want to forget about those extra parts. I started with 17, and I took 15 of those parts away so that I could represent those as whole numbers. That means that I have 2 parts left. So now I have 2 fifths left over. My mixed number then is 3 and 2 fifths. 17 fifths is the same as 3 and 2 fifths. So let's just review that process. We started with 17 fifths. We ask ourselves first, how many 5s go into 17? There are 3 5s in 17. Well, then 3 times 5 is 15. I have 2 left over because I started with 17 in my numerator. So then I have 2 left over in my numerator. My denominator always stays the same. And that's my final answer.